Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host Dakota, here with my co-host Jordan. And
Hello.
when you're such a strong collector like Jordan and I, and you've already conquered all you're looking for in the realm of Marvel Legends, McFarlane's, there's still some more Mythic Legions out there, but those are a little on the pricier end that I think I'll wait for a reissue. You have to go hunting for something new.
I'm
And Jordan and
reminded,
I have...
yes, I'm
Go
reminded
ahead.
Dakota of Alexander the Great when he looked out on the lands and was sorrowful because he had no more lands to conquer. And while we are not Alexander the Great, we have collected quite a few action figures, I agree, and made us want to begin a new segment that we call Action Figure Spotlight, where we
Yes.
scour the interwebs for hidden gems or some new line that perhaps we have not encountered yet and might want to bring to your attention to potentially add to your own collection. And with
Yeah.
that,
So
Dakota brought to my attention a new line that is called
the 9 to 5 Warriors. So this seems like it is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. Jordan, you read up a little bit on the story here, so I'll let
Indeed I
you
did.
share with our listeners
So,
what's the 9 to 5 Warriors are all about.
yes, so it's obviously original content, but it is focused around mild mannered Alan McMillan, who is an office employee, everyday guy, and in his free time, just for fun, to pass the hours, he makes action figures out of office supplies. So, pencils, food, chips, whatever you can imagine. Hides them in his drawer so nobody thinks he's crazy because he's a grown man playing with toys. Who does that? But one day, his energy drink is spilled and brings his toys to life. If I had $1 for every time that happened to me, Dakota, let me tell you. But it creates two factions: the break room bandits and the water. What was it? The water cooler commandos.
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 Yeah.
So we then have these two factions. Alan is caught in the middle, and that is kind of where we find ourselves as we're introduced to this colorful cast of characters.
Yeah, a colorful cast of characters indeed. So let's do just a quick rundown of like names of the characters and like
Mm-hmm.
just a really quick, easy overview. And then we'll get into kind of each one in a little bit more detail, especially for our audio listeners. So,
Mm-hmm.
going through our characters here, and these are all in about like a 3 3/4 inch scale. We've got Major Eraser, who is an eraser. We've got Colonel Custard, who is a donut. We've got Brigadier Bounce E, who is, I believe, a rubber band ball. We've got Commodore Chips, which is kind of like a Pringles looking character. We've got Corporal Can, who I'm not sure what kind of, I think this is like a can of peanuts type
Yeah,
of
it's
can.
like a peanut can.
And then we've got Lieutenant Lead and Warrior Number 2. Both of those are pencil characters. Then we've got Sergeant Spore, who is a moldy sandwich. We've got Tech Sergeant Scotchy, who is a tape dispenser. And then we have Specialist Sugar, who she is kind of like a sugar packet come to life. And then in addition to the figures, there's also a comic book, 28 pages or 24 pages, comic book to go along with the characters. And then we've got the 9 to 5 Warriors Warrios, which is the like trading cards that go along with this, and that's kind of like a cereal box with the card packs in there. I believe there's 28 cards to collect, and probably kind of like most trading cards, it's at random, so you never really know what you're going to get with those. So, should we go into some details about some of these characters here, Jordan?
Let's do it.
All right, you want to start us off?
Yeah, well, Major Eraser, yes. It looks like one of those erasers, little rectangular guys. You'd use it to erase things naturally. Now, I don't know if people still use these. I haven't seen one of these in years. But I remember when I was a kid, I would kind of play with those and draw eyes and all that stuff. So I appreciate that. Looks like he's got kind of a grizzled look. It's like a rubber band eye patch, a little bow and arrow made out of, I think were thinking that's a paper clip. Looks like it.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, he is the leader of the water cooler commandos. So
he kind of looks like a eraser version of Rambo.
I could see that.
He's got like a cigar.
Looks like is that something else though?
I would assume.
I mean, I'm assuming it's standing in for a cigar, but I didn't know if it was like some other office item. But
yeah, I can't tell what it is, if it is something different.
And he is a 3 3/4. Yeah. And did we mention the like crowdfunding element?
Oh no, this is kind of like a Kickstarter you were saying, I think.
Yeah, so on Big Bad Toy Store it says the pre-orders close in January, and if the production goal is not met, they will not be produced, and the orders will be canceled. So it seems like Big Bad Toy Store is the only way to get them, because if you click on the link on the website, it takes you to Big Bad Toy Store. So I'm gonna guess that's the only way to get them.
Right. Then next up on our character list, we've got Corporal Custard, who is a donut, like a sprinkle donut. He's kind of got the Doctor Strange or like a Dracula type cape with the big collar. He's holding like a soda can like topper as his shield. It's got the tab pulled down. And then I believe he's in charge of the break room bandits.
I love he's got like big gray eyebrows.
He does. Yeah, very
he looks
old man
crazy.
Eyebrows.
So we kind of have Colonel Custard versus I've already forgotten the racer's name.
The Major Eraser.
Major Eraser. So those are like our two leaders of our factions then.
If you scroll over to the side in the Big Bad Toy Store images on Corporal or on Colonel Custard, it looks like he glows in the dark. Like his eyes and kind of the exposed like custard, I guess, is glow in the dark. I think he's the only one I've seen so far that comes like that, and you kind of get to see what the package is.
Do the other ones have package images? I didn't see that.
This is the first package image I've seen when clicking through these. I haven't clicked through every single one of all their pictures, but you've kind of got the art of Colonel Custard. Looks much more angry in his art, but it's got that like spilling over energy drink can. Yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of cool. I like it. It's pretty good packaging. It's kind of looks similar to like a Marvel Legends retro card. Yeah. Then you want to give us the lowdown on Brigadier Bounce E?
Bounce E figure. So it looks like he is a big rubber band ball, I would guess.
Yeah.
He's got like a little, what is that? Little cannon rubber band shooter?
Yeah, made out of a highlighter.
Oh, I see. Highlighter. What's he wearing? Is that a vest of like dynamite?
It looks like a dynamite vest, yeah.
I don't know where Alan's working, but he got a little miniature dynamite. He's the comedic relief of the group, and he doesn't get the respect he deserves. Been there. He's always the first and last to leave a battle, it says. So, valuable.
The first and last to leave a battle?
Yeah.
How are you the first and the last? I don't know. Interesting. I'll have to read the comic book to find out.
He's always the first and last to leave a battle. Maybe it's the first to arrive and the last to leave?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to figure this out. Do some investigate. We got to read the comic now.
Yeah.
We don't know. But yeah, he's kind of got some crazy eyes going on. Do we see the packaging on him or no?
No, it doesn't show us the packaging with him.
But we do see him lined up with some other figures to kind of give you a sense of what they look like together. So, kind of interesting.
And he's 3.5 inches. And then next up, we've got Commodore Chips, or Commodore Crisps. This is like the Pringle-looking character, but when you click on the image, it turns out this is actually 3 characters. So you've got one, so it's like each one is like a kind of a stack of 3 Pringles. One of them is holding a spear. It's kind of got like little legs attached to the chip, like a mouth underneath it, and then eyeballs on top of the chip. Then you've got another one that's kind of like the Pringle standing up long ways, which has little tiny feet. You kind of see some little sculpted arms, not posable at all though. And then like a mouth and eyes on like the same side. And then the last one is like a horizontal stack of Pringles with the mouth across the Pringle stack, and then eyes on top of that with legs. You kind of have to see this one, see the image of this one.
Sounds like you're describing a fever dream of yours, Dakota.
It does, and I feel like this was either a lot of imagination to make these figures or a lot of hard drugs.
Well, they're stackable. Did you notice that?
Yeah, they all stack together to kind of form kind of like a one mega chip. Yeah. And this one, when he's fully assembled, he is 4¼ inches. So a little bit bigger than the others. And he's got like his spear. Looks like it's maybe like a toothpick with a X-Acto knife blade on it or something like that.
Yes.
But I would like to see the packaging for this one. I wonder if it comes like all stacked together or if it's like each individual chip. But yeah, that one, I don't know. I think this one's one of the most like crazy ideas, like just a stack of Pringles and then you just made 3 figures out of it. I don't know. That's fun to me.
That's an interesting concept for like, I mean, I'd be curious. I don't know what characters. Reminds me of like those Transformers that like are their own little robots.
The Devastator.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They come together.
Or like even like a Power Rangers Megazord all coming together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then next up, you want to give us the Corporal Can?
Yes, Corporal Can. He is like a can of peanuts. He's got some like radio equipment going on, and then he's got some little peanut guys that can they go inside, or is he just as is?
It looks
he opens up.
Go inside.
He opens up, and they've got their little equipment, the peanuts. Corporal Can, he's a crucial piece. He was originally part of the Bandit Legion, but walked away to join the Commandos after hearing Custer's evil plans. So we don't know what Custer's plans are, but sounds like he might be. I thought maybe this was like both sides have a, you can't go wrong, but maybe Custard is the evil one and the Commandos are the heroes. I don't know.
Yeah. And he comes with those 3 little peanut guys. Like, kind of looks like, I mean, he's kind of like the, I don't know, I would say kind of like the Eyes in the Skies kind of character, where like he kind of dispatches the peanuts, and then you've got one that's like a listening, I don't know, he's got kind of like the thing up to his ear, and then like I would assume like not like the opposite of a megaphone that like takes in sound. Right. You got somebody on like the walkie-talkie, and then one of them with binoculars keeping a lookout. So
there you go.
This one I think is the biggest out of all of these, and he's 3.5 inches by 5.2, and then the peanuts are 2.5 inches each.
He's also more. He's $29.99. I know we didn't say the other ones. I think are $24.99 for the most part. Yes. It looked like.
Yep.
So, I get it. Corporal Can.
I mean, you're essentially getting 4 figures there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of them are really posable. I mean, like the lid comes off of the can, but then each of the figures are just kind of like those old, I remember like the old raisin. I can't remember what they were, but like they were like
California raisins.
Yeah, California raisins.
With their peanuts.
That's what they remind me of, is these guys.
I could see that.
Then next up, we've got Lieutenant Lead, who is the pencil. Looks like he's got, can't really tell what kind of weapon he's holding. Kind of looks like a bazooka. It's like it's like shooting out like a push pin. out of that's like if you took the cap off of a pen and bent it
Right.
sideways, that's how he's holding it. Very interesting.
So he is Major Eraser's right-hand man. So,
Nice.
you know, oh, his brother is number 2.
Okay.
Oh, he stems. They're the same pencil. They're just broken in half.
I was thinking it looked because the other one, like this guy, he's got like the eraser on his head, and then the like lead bottom, like you could write with the bottom of him. But the other one has like 2 points. So I
It
was
says,
wondering if
yeah,
they were
he
snapped off.
stems from the same pencil as his brother number 2, but their broken
Nice.
ends will never unite again. So I'm gonna assume then the warrior number 2 then must be on the opposing faction. But
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think he is. Because the warrior number 2 is Break Room Bandits. And yeah, they are on different teams. Look at
he
that.
left the commandos as soon as his efforts to overthrow Major Eraser failed, and now he lurks in the darkness, waiting for a chance to
Wow.
strike. Wow.
I'm becoming more and more intrigued in these guys as
The
we go through
pathos.
the.
Is he just holding
Let's
a
see.
straight up sword, though?
I think
Is that an office supply, or it's just legit a sword?
I like clicking through the pictures. I can't tell what it would be
It just looks
other
like a
than just a
tiny,
regular sword.
maybe like a letter opener. I don't know.
Oh, that seems like
No,
the world's smallest letter opener.
I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, I'm not sure what his like because he's kind of got the like wrist dagger things, kind of like a is that Assassin's Creed except like on top, kind of like Wolverine style.
there's a picture of them showing down on a notebook.
Now this one, Jordan, as soon as I showed you these, you remembered
Yes.
this. Whoever is creating these found our childhood notebooks from fourth grade where we used to design our own superheroes because this is actually the only one I can remember is the pencil pusher, and he looks exactly
He,
like Warrior number 2,
he looks strikingly
except
similar. A
my
little,
pencil pusher had like Wolverine claw pencils.
but
So
I don't know. Something fishy might be going on here.
that's what I'm thinking too. I don't know if I don't think I have those notebooks. I'd have to look through my parents' house in depth to try to find those notebooks. I hope I
Right.
still have them because I would love to share those on here. But
Fun.
all right, after Warrior number 2, we get to I think my favorite. Well, both of those pencil guys were 4.5 inches and both 25 or 24.99. Now my favorite, I think, out of all these characters is Sergeant Spore. He's a moldy sandwich. It's kind of like just looking at him straight on, you just think he's like almost a standing straight up and down sandwich. But then you get the side profile of him, and he's like much longer than you expect. Kind of like a
That's
hunchback sandwich man.
that's kind of freaky looking.
It is much more freaky
Ew.
looking when you see
It
him from the
reminds me of,
side.
have you seen those memes where it's like Thomas the Train and then he slides out and he's just like a tube of a man on a head?
Yeah.
That's what this guy looks like to me.
I'll see if I can find that
Oh, that'd
meme
be
and put
funny.
it on the
I would
YouTube.
love it if you put that on. It might be I think it's a meme. Yeah, I don't think it's a video. But yeah, he is that. Yeah, didn't realize that.
He's kind of got like a black, kind of like a top hat ish. He's got some sort of crossbow. Looks like it's made out of a red Sharpie red Sharpie cap. Then it's got kind of one of those like binder clips and rubber bands on it. He's also a little bit more expensive. He's the $29.99. He is 5.25 inches tall. So a little bit heftier. He's got a band-aid stuck on his back. I don't know. If I was going to get any of these, he'd be at the top of my list. Probably along with Warrior number 2, just because he looks like Pencil Pusher that I made. But
Flash throwback.
give us a lowdown on Tech Sergeant SCOTCHY, Jordan.
Yes, Tech Sergeant Scotchy. So, kind of old man looking guy. Got some goggles and some kind of. Oh, he is a thing of tape. I didn't realize that. Because he also has that like weird hunchback head attached to a weird body thing. He is part of the commandos, He's
Mm-hmm.
kind of kooky. Um, he can build the ultimate war machine out of scraps and strips, so I think he's like the handyman.
Okay.
And he is designed to dispense standard issue tape rolls, tape roll not included. But it looks like you could make him into a functional tape dispenser, or he would
Yeah,
work
I
as a
think so.
functional tape dispenser. That's
It
kind
looks
of
like
cool.
it, yeah. Yeah, and if you kind of scroll to the side on the Big Bad Toy Store pictures, you see him like rappelling down the side of a cubicle with the tape. Kind of fun.
That's kind of funny.
He's another 24.99 guy. He's 4 inches tall, so a little smaller than the sandwich, but I think he's a little bit bigger than the eraser. And then our last character, we've got Specialist Sugar. She's like a sugar packet come to life. So like her dress is like the packet, and then her body is made out of like the sugar. From the little cartoon promo that they have on the website, it looks like she's kind of got like Sandman powers, where her figure has kind of one arm turned into like a sword, and then the other arm is turned into like a shield.
She's got interchangeable arms.
Oh, okay, it's interchangeable because yeah, she's got a giant fist. So yeah, all right, interchangeable arms, or you could have 2 regular arms. So you've got the sword arm, you got the giant fist, you got 2 regular arms, and then she has a shield that she can hold.
Wow, weapon for a hand, Dakota.
I do love weapons for hands. So she's kind of cool. She's got purple hair.
So
How
she's
tall is she? 3 3/4.
yeah, she can shift into practically any object, and she is Colonel Custard's go-to and most trusted officer. So, and that is kind
So
of
she's
the
one of the villains.
yeah, what a
Interesting.
twist.
So yeah, then I mean, outside of those figures, you've got the comic book, which looks like it's got some crazy art to it. Just clicking through some of the pictures. You know a lot more comic book art, Jordan. I don't know what you would relate this to as far as other artists, but
Well, apparently it's
definitely more of
done
a
by
cartoony feel.
Michael Anderson is the name of the artist. So, yeah, kind of more, sort of evokes that like not Saturday morning cartoon, but like a modern take on that stuff, which I think is what they're
Yeah.
going for, sort of that retro.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a cool looking cover.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's only $10. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. Who knows? Maybe if these pop off and go crazy, you're gonna want to get your number 1 graded and signed, sealed, and go for big money in the future. But all right, out of all these figures, Jordan, do you have a favorite that you would be, if you were gonna pick these up, you'd be leaning towards picking up first?
I think I'm most tempted just by the Sergeant Scotchy, just because he is a functional tape dispenser. That's kind of a fun feature. I almost would like to. I don't know how you'd do that, but like see that with more of these.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, of course. Like you couldn't make a functional moldy sandwich, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I
You
feel like
wanna-
it's a missed opportunity. We don't have a pencil or a cup holder guy or a pen holder.
True. I mean, I suppose you could use Corporal Can for that, but
He's a
yeah,
peanut.
I mean, maybe in wave 2, if these are successful enough that they come out with more, maybe that could be a whole nother episode as we speculate on.
On what could come next for the office supplies. We just
Yeah.
got to get him on the show and be like, hey,
Yeah.
this is what we got. But
Yeah. I think I would be leaning towards the Sergeant Spore, like I said.
yeah,
I just think he looks so crazy unique. You're not gonna find a moldy sandwich action figure most other places.
yeah. I kind of like
yeah,
Colonel Custard.
Yeah. I was gonna say he would be another cool one. I mean, they're all just like unique that it's it kind of reminds me of like the how I got into Mythic Legions, where it's like there's nothing like that within like Marvel Legends or McFarlane's like we usually collect. So then I branch into the Mythic Legions just for
Right.
something new and unique. So
Well, I think what the big appeal for these would be like if you actually work in an office, which is probably
hmm
actually a lot of toy collectors. Like, yeah, I'm serious. Like, I mean, I
yeah,
work in an office and like I don't have like a desk, but if I did, it'd be fun to have like a legend or two there. I know a lot of guys do that we see in the
hmm
groups, but like these almost fit the aesthetic, and it kind of turns it
right,
would turn your office into like you're in the middle of the story, right, where you could set them up
true,
and like because how often can you probably not do a giant display like we we have at work,
right,
but you could set up like your pencils fighting each other,
hmm
what, and then you could
yeah,
what would be kind of cool is you could like introduce your own elements, so like you could have one on top of a pencil cup or
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, they
That's
have
probably what
if
they
you
were
go
going
to
for.
Corporal Can, if you go through some of the pictures on there, they've got some of the like little peanuts kind of like hiding around the corner of like
Right.
a stack of books or kind of like on the edge of a filing cabinet, like
Yeah.
doing their like surveillance and everything. So that does make it really cool to, kind of immerse yourself in the story and kind of like put the things around where they're not like you said, it's not
Yeah.
like you're going to have like a HasLab Galactus. It's like people are going to walk by your cubicle and be like, that's a ginormous toy you have there versus like just
Well,
little
it
ones kind of.
not to like it might be more socially acceptable to have these toys because it's almost more like a
hmm
novelty toy where it's like
Right.
I said, if you had a whole display like this, you'd want to be like, how much
Yeah.
work are you actually doing over here? But um, I get that. My biggest
hmm
issue is probably going to be the price. I think for
Yeah.
what they're priced at, it'd be hard for me to justify doing 3 3/4. I get it. It's like a upstart, so you kind of
hmm
probably have to price them higher. I almost wish that came in like 2 packs. Like you could do the
Yeah.
the bandits and then the
hmm
commandos, and like you could just get them all in like one
Yeah.
pack.
That would
That
be
would
cool.
almost make sense to me. And maybe you have the comic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's maybe that's too much critique there, but I do think the ideas are fun. I think the concept
hmm
is fun. I think the execution is pretty good. Um, it would almost be weird if they were 6-inch scale in some ways. I think
True.
that's kind of the point to like make
It
it
kind of
more
takes
like
away.
those
Yeah.
retro mini toys. So
And I think you want it to kind of be more like the thing that it is. Like a 6-inch eraser wouldn't make much sense.
right,
Like maybe a 6-inch like moldy sandwich would make more sense, but then it's kind of like out of scale with the rest of the guys.
yeah,
So like same with a sugar packet. Like you can't have a giant sugar packet, but I mean a pencil could be, but it's supposed to be broken in half. So
oh,
I think that was a
I'd
smart
love
way
a
to make a pencil
yeah,
not have to be huge. It's like, oh, that was snapped in half, so it's half the size of a pencil. It fits the scale.
yeah.
What were you gonna say
Thinking
you would love to see?
I'm thinking like a little Keurig cup, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what he'd
yeah.
do.
I mean, the possibilities are endless. It's that would be kind of fun to just sit down and think about different
Yeah,
things you could make into the Wave 2 or like how many more
I
figures of these
I'll
could you make?
admit, coming into this podcast, you were very much like these are kind of cool, and I was like, what are you talking about, dude? The more we've talked about it, I get the merit of it. I do. I understand why
hmm
people would want these, and I'd like to see them go into production because I kind of want to see what they look like either in hand or we only saw that one in box, so I'm curious what the
Right.
packaging is like on the rest.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and that's the thing too, is
yeah,
like it comes with kind of a pre-made story. It's got the comic book with it. Each one of them has kind of their own description of how they fit into each side, like one flipped sides. They were brothers, things like that. I think that, like, especially for you like kind of knowing what you're buying, where I kind of like, it looks cool, I buy it. I'll make up
yeah.
my own story
Well,
for
I
it.
think what hooked me is just the fact that there's lore about
Yeah.
these office. Like that's funny to me. Like I get Mythic
Yeah.
Legions, like you have a lore because
hmm
they're epic stories. Like this is just
Right.
a story about office supplies, but like they're brothers and feud. Like that's funny to me. Like if this were like a
hmm
cartoon, like 5 minute short on YouTube series, I would probably
Oh
watch
yeah.
these.
Yeah. That's fun. Yeah, we'll put the link to the website and the Big Bad Toy Store links here so you guys can go pre-order these if you want to. I mean,
We should
talking
try
to
to
them
find
before
out
this.
if there's a date too, because it just says
Yeah.
January. It doesn't say a
hmm
certain date, so I'd like to
I mean,
find
I was
that
gonna
out.
see if
Just
we could even because there's a contact
Yeah.
tab on the website. So maybe we'll reach out and see if they want to do a strong collector's interview, and
Yeah.
that would be fun.
That'd be very fun. I would love to get into brainstorm, like, what was the process of coming up with all these,
Yeah.
and we could spitball some crazy ideas.
Yeah. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see when that comes out, if we can line that up. Leave a comment down below. Tell us what your favorite is. Have you seen these before? Have you ordered them already? Are you going to order them now? What are your thoughts on these? Because these are very different than what we usually talk about. So I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you want to see more episodes like this where we're talking about something other than Marvel Legends? I think we're still going to probably stick to our regularly scheduled programming, but it's fun to branch out like this and explore more things. So let us know if that's accurate. If you're like, man, this was a waste of my time, I don't want to know about these eraser and donut action figures. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Maybe they want some of these crazy things for their office. So until next time, stay strong.